Peace to the gods and the goddesses, man. You already know what it is. As you can see, I got rid of the carpet. You know what I mean? I'm done with that carpet. The carpet was basically housing an abundance of dead skin, aka dust. You know what I mean? So I had to get rid of that. Even though I had this filter here and all that, this little air filter. Well, not an air filter. It's like it electronically attract dust particles, and it sticks inside this metal rod that's inside of it. You know what I'm saying? That was doing that, and then I got this other one there on top of the table. Even if I had that, you know what I'm saying, this carpet, man, was terrible, man. You know, when I lifted up, man, it was like packets and packets and packets of dust. So I was like, yo, I gotta get this up out of here, son. You know what I'm saying? It's not good, especially, you know, in the room and all that when you're supposed to be rejuvenating, going through the detox. You're over there inhaling all that, all them different dust particles, and it'll be a taxation later on the line when you with the lungs and all that later on down the line and all. For a second, cuz. Nah, man. We're gonna be talking a little bit more about this matrix, man. As I stated before, man, we can have a 10-year conversation, man, talking about this matrix, man. We're gonna be talking about this matrix a little bit more, man. We're gonna talk about how the matrix is fully incorporated into our lives, and we don't even, well, most people, they don't really fully analyze how the matrix is fully intertwined in people's lives. You know what I mean? You got to know that all titles has to do with the matrix. Even the title of God has to do with the matrix. You know what I'm saying? But we use that title to give people an idea on what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? As I stated before, these words and titles, things of that nature, it was created to give people an idea on what's being discussed, because the species don't have the ability to communicate with the energy firsthand. See, when they can't communicate with the energy firsthand, they have to create an alias to describe it, because they can't really interpret it. You know what I mean? So we just gonna be talking about how the matrix affect people now. Most people, you know what I'm saying, they be like, life is what you make it. You know, I broke that down in past videos. Check them archives. They be like, life is what you make it. But as I stated before, how can one say life is what you make it when all of your life experiences or your memories have to do with a systematic design that someone else created? Give a practical example. Let's say they got a couple. You know how people, when they get like certain ages, they would backtrack into their memories and they would start like re-experiencing those memories. You know, and they'd be like, well, this was a great moment in time, and this right here was a wild experience, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But let's say they had a couple. Let's say, matter of fact, let's say it was two people that just met. They met by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. They said they met in Paris by the Eiffel Tower on New Year's Eve. Fireworks is all up in the sky and all that. The moment is right. These people meet. They click. And then they get married. So let's say every year they have an anniversary because they met there, they will go back to that same spot to recapture that feeling of when they first met. Most people might say, well, it ain't nothing really wrong with that. People meet people every day on certain situations, certain circumstances, and they click, you know what I'm saying, and they just basically take it from there. But let's analyze. Instead of just looking at the situation from the surface, let's analyze the core. Because, I deal with the core, son. Straight up, the hell with the surface. We going past the surface into the depths of hell. You know what I mean? So let's analyze. These people met in Paris. I broke down the masters of commerce before. They got people that create businesses on microscopic scales. Like you could look at a company like Sony, Microsoft, you know what I'm saying, Nike, like all these other, and I had qualified them as megalithic, but I was just using that to give them an example. But I'm about to go into more in depth. People will look at those. I mean, like those corporations. You know what I'm saying? Those corporations are actually minute. Those are minute corporations. When you're looking at corporations like American Airlines or JetBlue, Delta, you know what I'm saying? When you're looking at corporations like Walmart, Target, Adidas, you know what I'm saying? Warner Brothers, Hollywood. Those are all minute corporations. Now, I know people might be like, what the hell are you talking about? Those are minute corporations. But you see, you got to know that there's levels to this, man. It's levels, sinner. Chill. Sit down in your seat, buckle your seatbelt, because we about to go for a freaking ride. You know what I mean? So, there's masters of commerce and there's levels to this. Now, you have people who would set up businesses on that level, but that would be small. You have people that would set up businesses on larger scales compared to that. The larger scales would be New York City, Florida, United States of America, Brazil, Trinidad, Jamaica, California. You know what I'm saying? Those are all businesses. Those would be like considered the macro, like the macrocosmic type of or megalithic. You know, what I'm gonna use that word to describe it. Those would be like the gigantic, the megalithic corporations, the masters of commerce. They buy a large amount of land mass and they turn that land mass, like Africa. They turn that entire land mass into a business. Masters of commerce. So you got the small corporations like Sony and Microsoft and JetBlue and American Airlines and you know what I'm saying, things like that. But then you got the bigger corporations like America, United States of America, Africa, you know what I'm saying, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, things like that. Come in many different levels, man. So we're looking at Paris now. Paris is a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. Straight up, period. It's a corporation. So these people who met in Paris by the Eiffel Tower. Now the Eiffel Tower is there's many ways you could break it down, but just for now, let's just say, it's a metallic pyramid. You know what I'm saying? There's many ways to break it down, son, but for this, just keep it short, a metallic pyramid. I'm not going to get into in depth of what the Eiffel Tower is, man. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's going to start veering off. But it's a metallic pyramid. Basically shows that a certain society has mastered the art in manipulating metal. I'm gonna just leave it as that. So they met by the Eiffel Tower. You know what I'm saying? In Paris on New Year's Eve. Fireworks is illuminating the sky, setting the mode and all that. You know what I'm saying? But New Year's Eve, even though they would say is New Year's Eve supposed to represent a new year, it ain't really no new year because the new year is supposed to start in spring. It ain't supposed to start in no damn winter. You know what I'm saying? But all of those things that as far as the New Year's Eve and, you know what I'm saying, Paris and all that, those are all systematic designs. They are all designs that exist within a simulation. So, if these people created a systematic design and it exists within a simulation, so now all the simulation need is participants to simulate it. Who's to say that the memories or the experiences that you gaining from these from the experience within the simulation hasn't already been predetermined? You really think people that have the knowledge to set up quote unquote societies and all these experiences that people go through, you really don't think they already know how your mind is going to reflect off of it? In other words, they already know what you're going to think before you think it because they created the design. They created the design, and the design is meant to trigger in regards to how your mind work. In other words, however your mind work within the system, within the simulation, it was meant to do that because it's being triggered by the design that these people created. So you ain't really thinking anything new if you are allowing the system to manipulate your thoughts. Your thoughts is actually in synchronicity with how they want it to be projected because all you're doing is describing effects from a design that they created. You know what I'm saying? So those people who would sit up there in Paris, which is a business, Eiffel Tower, all that, you know what I'm saying, New Year's Eve and all that, they would use that experience as something as magnificent. As something as magnificent. Oh, we met here, we fell in love, blah blah blah. Y'all know the regular script. That's why it's a regular script. That's why it's a series of events that leads up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that has already been pre-calculated. You know what I mean? It's already been pre-calculated. So they already know you're going to be walking down the aisle catching rice in the eye. So these people will hold on to these memories, but they don't really realize that that's not really memories, what you are replaying or holding on to. What you are really holding on to or playing is a program. You're really running a biological program, an external biological program that has been sleeped into you. You think based upon these experiences that you having within these corporations, known as those territories that I mentioned, and this is global. I was just using Paris as an example, but this is global. No matter where you at on the planet, you are inside a corporation. That's why I say The Matrix. That movie was so profound. It would take literally 10 years conversation, man, to just go in depth and just pick it with a damn toothpick comb, son. To just go all in the nicks and the crannies and the particles that make up the matrix. So what you think is your memories is not your memories. It's a program that you were supposed to experience based upon you being in the simulation. You are simulating the simulation. In other words, your thoughts are the effects of the cause of the simulation. You're supposed to act like that because that's how the simulation simulated you to move. You know what I mean? So when these people is talking about their memories and things like that, they not really talking about no memories. You know what I'm saying? The people have been so meshed into the matrix that they have that like they literally have an inability to process or should I say differ artificial from authentic. The illusion, man, that word illusion is very powerful, man. I don't even think people really understand how powerful that word illusion is. You know what I'm saying? Falling in love is the matrix. It is not real. Love is a part of the matrix. Pain is a part of the matrix. Diseases is a part of the matrix. Those things are all within the simulation, and it's being, or should I say, it's being carried out by the people who are participating in the simulation, or it's being adopted by the people who are participating in the simulation. You know what I'm saying? How can energy get sick? Think about that for a second. I know I said before, in past videos that your soul will get sick. You know what I'm saying? But I was just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? But how can your soul or your spirit get sick? What disease could the soul really have and the spirit really have? You got to know that this electrical wire right here. You know what I'm saying? You have electricity that's running through this wire and it's running through here, and based upon how this right here was coded to manipulate the energy, that's how the energy will be governed based upon the code. Same thing with the TV, same thing with the cell phone. So if the energy is running off the code, then what is that saying about your body? You know what I'm saying? Just something to think about. So yeah, as I stated before, if you was to take all of these elements out that make up the matrix, what is it that you would have left? If you just take all of this, all or everything that make up the matrix, everything. It's titles, names, territories, house, cars, all this stuff. All of these things that we perceive. You know what I'm saying? You got the people that get so lost in the matrix that they assume that what we call wealth, as far as materialism, well, I ain't gonna say wealth, riches, as far as materialism, your cars, your houses, your jets, your money, your bling, you know what I'm saying? We look at that as a means to give us value. If we're looking at these substances as a means to give us value or to give us some high appraisal, then what would happen or what would be left if we take it all away? If we take all them jewels and all that stuff away that people look up to all these materialistic items on a rich level that they would look up to give themselves value. If we take that all away, what is your value? Know what I'm saying? If we take all the elements that exist within the matrix, what do we have left? The only thing that we would have left is the mother freaking spirit or the soul. That's it. Straight up. You know what I mean? Your memories is part of the matrix. Because it's not real. The memories that you have came by way of you engaging in a highly sophisticated, orchestrated, systematic design. You have them existing on small scales, and then you have them existing on global scales. So the people that's running this planet, One thing they not, and that's stupid, man. They mad smart, son. Mad smart. Mad smart. They create all the curriculums that people go to these colleges and study, schools and study. And yet these people feel like they smart because they earned a degree. If you smart for earning the damn degree that somebody else created, what are they? What are they? What are the ones who created the damn curriculum that you studied, that you feel you better than everybody because you got a couple of diplomas on the wall? What are the people who created it? You know what I mean? Straight up. You have like people like mechanics. They would think that they the ish because they could fix a car. Really? You think you're the ish because you could fix a car? What about the ones who got the ideas to create the car? What about those people, man? You know what I'm saying? The Matrix, man. The Matrix is deep. It's a hell of an illusion. It's so cleverly intertwined in our lives, man. Tell you, man, people don't really sit back and analyze how profound the Matrix is, man. Don't think the Matrix is just some man named Neo dodging bullets. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like the main thing people was talking about in that movie when he was dodging bullets. But there ain't nobody miss on how they was revealing that everything that you experience on this damn planet is the Matrix. This planet is the Matrix. Do you get it? You get it now? This whole planet is the freaking Matrix. You know what I mean? It's tricking you. Forge light. When one becomes disconnected from God, that person is confused. God is the only one who knows exactly what's really going on down here. God knows how to solve his way out of this cube maze that we in. God knows the way how to get up out of this matrix. And the only way you're going to get up out of here is if you think your way out. If you don't think your way out, if you constantly feeling, you will fall. Straight up. You will fall. Every time you keep feeling, you keep falling. I'll give you a practical example. You have people that smoke weed because they want to feel. So every time they want to feel that feeling that they get from when they smoke weed, they resistance in regards to not smoking it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. So in other words, the more you smoke it, the more weaker you get because you've becoming, it's like your resistance level is falling. It's not getting stronger. Your resistance level increase when you resist the feeling. Oh no, I don't want to smoke that. I don't even want to be on it like that because I already know how it's gonna make me feel. It's gonna make me all slow. I ain't with it, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you constantly want to feel, you fall. When you constantly feel, you fall. Period. Period. But when you constantly think, you rise up because you're analyzing the situation now. Since we want to feel so much, the so-called black race, we got placed in a realm that's being governed by feeling. The matrix, the moon, the soulless system. This whole planetary system is a soulless system. Straight up. The curse of Amen. You know what I mean? The matrix. Take a deep look inside of your life and ask yourself, what are you really doing? What are you really doing in the matrix? I'm out, sinners.